Magnificat anima mea Dominum,
et exsultat spiritus meus in Deo salutari meo.
Welcome to the new episode of the theme St. Teresa of Avila, the Mother of Interior Souls. Today we shall see something about the virtue of fraternal correction as portrayed by St. Teresa of Avila. The Jewish man who fell into the hands of the robbers was helped by his much hated Samaritan. After doing every service to the tortured traveler, he did not stay back there, not even to hear a word of thanks from his beneficiary. In what did consist the joy of the Samaritan? God saw it and promised him a reward. When you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. To the Jewish lawyer who contemptuously refrained from uttering the word Samaritan, Jesus said, "Go and do likewise." Jesus corrected the lawyer who did not know the ABCD of courtesy with the life example of the Samaritan. Wrongdoers are many, both in religious houses and in family circles. St. Teresa advises profusely in her book of Way of Perfection how to correct them in a peaceful way. She writes, "Get to know what are the things in your sisters which you should be sorry to see, and those about which you should sympathize with them. And always show your grief at any notorious fault which you may see in one of them. It is a good proof and a test of our love if we can bear with such faults and not be shocked by them. Others in their turn will bear with your faults, which, if you include those of which you are not aware, must be more numerous." Jesus was not surprised when he saw the so-called sinful woman standing behind him at his feet, weeping and bathing his feet with her tears and drying them with her hair, kissing his feet repeatedly and anointing them with the ointment. On the contrary, he defended her before Simon's hypercritical guess. With mercy and love, Jesus looked at the woman caught in adultery, whom scribes and Pharisees looked at as a thing, not as a person, as a pawn in the game whereby they could destroy Jesus. Jesus silenced them, saying, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." When they heard it, they went away, one by one, beginning with the elders. Jesus said to her, "Neither do I condemn you." Jesus asked us, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. A praying man is like Jesus, thinking like Jesus, acting like Jesus, loving like Jesus. Saint Teresa tells us how to correct our companions. She writes, often commend to God any sister who is at fault, and strive for your own part to practice the virtue which is the opposite of her fault with great perfection. Make determined efforts to do this, so that you may teach your sister by your deeds what perhaps she could never learn by words or gain by punishment. The habit of performing some conspicuously virtuous action through seeing it performed by another is one which very easily takes root. This is good advice. Do not forget it. In her books and letters, Saint Teresa exhorts her superiors to correct their sisters with life examples. She tells them, let the sisters remember that if they have a superior who is holy, those under him will be holy too. Some superiors, while retiring from office, used to say, hereafter I will get time to pray and read good books and get time to lead an interior life. Such statements of the retired superiors are the greatest scandal to the young generation. A superior has a twofold function to play in the community: pastoral and administrative. Pastoral means that a superior, by his or her virtuous life, leads his or her sheep to Jesus. And this is the most important duty of a superior. The best example is our present Holy Father, Pope Francis, who is Jesus Christ in visible form. He is a personification and incarnation of Christ's virtues, leading an unblemished life, commanding respect from the whole world thanks to his simplicity of life. It is unwise of a superior to declare before others his or her spiritual life's poverty. The message they give is that spiritual life has its role only after one's retirement. The superiors led a happy life without a proper life of prayer, which is the oxygen of every spiritual soul. So the youngsters unconsciously take the spiritual life lightly. Here the superiors fall shy of what Saint Teresa demanded of them. She writes, this course may not bring her an intelligent sister, may not bring her great spirituality, but it will help her to give profitable advice and to make herself useful in many ways without being a trouble to anybody. To Timothy, St. Paul writes, let no one despise your youth, but set the believers an example in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. St. Paul again writes to the Corinthians, now even if I boast a little too much of our authority, which the Lord gave for building you up and not for tearing you down. A man of prayer will be able to repeat with St. Paul, be imitators of me as I am of Christ. Thank you.